So these institutions are not directly to do with green revolution, but please remember that all these things were built together with the green revolution money and with the green revolution money, with the important money, with the subsidies. So if we find alternative, we need to find a genuine alternative. From 2002 to 2007, there was a world body of about 80-90 scientists, and both social scientists and agricultural scientists, which was formed at the global level. This was called International Assessment of Agricultural Knowledge, Science and Technology for Development, IASTD. This IASTD worked for about 4 years. It was a democratic process. It was not hidden. Many scientists from all over the world were trying to break their heads to decide what kind of agriculture we want for future. And they came to the conclusion, they called their report Agriculture at Crossroads. This report is available free for download and summary you can read. So if you are putting this word IASTD, you can easily find the, and please remember therefore that DSAC for last 3 decades have been, and last decades in agriculture have been promoting some of the same ideas. Right now, not only us, but in many countries, and not only NGOs, not only civil society organizations, but many scientists have come to the same conclusion. So, if you don't believe it, better you believe in United Nations institutions, and ISTD incidentally was actually commissioned by the World Bank. So, World Bank was part of it, UNESCO was part of it, many international agencies and scientists were part of it. And what they said, one of the things they said, here I am using my language, but basically they were saying that we need to know that agroecosystems have multiple functions. This is one thing that we have forgotten during the Green Revolution. That agriculture, a farm, is not only a money-making system. It is of course a business and industry, a money-making system. But it is also ecosystem. It is also habitat. It is a home for the frogs and the fish and the many birds and other things. It is also a place of recreation and culture. It is also a place where people cooperate with each other and learn cooperation. It is also a place of learning. It can be a place where further generation after generation learning is taking place. Today, modern farm is considered dangerous for women because we are spreading a lot of pesticides. So they cannot go. So the learning cannot happen. Today, the farm is no more a place of dream. They have got the answers, but the unfortunate thing is more 50 years after independence, lot of farmers all over India, every day maybe 50-60 farmers are committing suicide and living, many more are living farms. This is not out of poverty. These people who are committing suicide, and if we are proud that West Bengal do not have so much suicide, it is because West Bengal never had so much commercial agriculture. The farmers who are committing suicide in Maharashtra, who are in the sugarcane belt or cotton belt, those who are committing suicide in tobacco belt in Andhra, they are all middle class, higher middle class farmers who followed the scientists and government advice that instead of growing food, you grow cotton. Instead of growing food, you grow tobacco, and you will become rich. And they borrowed money and purchased very high cost hybrid seeds, or in some case genetic modified seeds, and then it did not, their crop failed. So not only they had to pay for that, but also were indebted. So it is because people are indebted, that is why. So the loan of Indian farmers, I do not want to load you with many statistics, but if you have doubt about any of these facts, and if you have want me to explain how exactly do you relate this to Green Revolution, I can do that later on. But because today we have less time, let us focus on the. So one question is that we have learned in West Bengal by working with farmers that we need to design diversified integrated system. What I mean by that, I will show right now in drawing. So diversified, what is the meaning? Diversified, the meaning is that human beings eat many kind of things. They eat food from the forest, they eat food from the birds, they eat food from the crops, they eat food from the aquatic organisms and plants, they eat food from small and big animals, they eat food from microorganisms and earthworms and bees and also mushrooms. So we have a wide range of food. It is possible, in theory, we have more than 3,000 food which is documented quite well. Is consisting of 80% of our food. So we have in Bengali we have a song, যে আমি নয়ন বসানো বাঁধিয়া আঁধারে মরি যে কাঁদিয়া. That means I have put a gamcha on my eyes and I am crying that Lord, why there is no light, why I cannot see light. So it is self-created problem. The idea of what we have to do, that I will come in a moment. So we tried this idea that if we take a seasonal plant, if we take a perennial plant, that means a tree or bush, if we have animal or bird, and if we can link them in such a way that one of the byproducts of the animal or something is fulfilling the input need of the next. So if the rice waste is creating food for the duck, if the duck waste is creating food for the fish or for the rice, and if azolla is creating food for the. So if we can grow rice and duck and azolla and fish together in a farm, the yield will be, composite yield will be much more than only rice. So it is not a question of, so best is if we can integrate, and it will be even better if we can, just like we have a economics, we have a 50 rupees note or 100 rupees note in my pocket. If it remains in my pocket, the value is remaining the same whole day. But if I use the money, if I use the note to buy milk from him, and he goes and buys fish from you, and you go and buy chicken from her, and she goes and buy rice from somebody else. So in other words, if the 100 rupees note is exchanging hand 10 times, then we have 1000 rupees useful. Use value will be 1000 rupees. So if we can create an ecosystem in which there are many exchange points, then there will be many yields. That is the science. So the science is that if we can not only use the cow dung for making compost, but for making biogas, it gets gas in, but it gets also some slurry, on which then the slurry can be used for growing azolla, which doubles its volume in 5 days. So in 5 days, if we have 10 square meter, it will become 20 square meter only in 5 days. So it can cover the entire rice field, and it has 30% crude protein. So that means It is like soybean for the fish, for the pig, for the duck. So then they shit and that becomes again a food. So, and that can be used as fish food, that can be used as earthworm food, that can be used. So how many times you use it depends on your imagination. And this, on the best reference, a trial was done by Service Center, our society, we call DRCC, shortly we call Service Center. Not so long ago, in the year 2004, only about 8 years ago, Department of Science and Technology of Government of India, nobody else, funded a all India coordinated project. So, in this project was coordinated by us, but more than 15 states, 17 organizations participated. So it did not happen in one corner, it did not happen unknown, it happened in more than 15 states and it happened in 13 different ecoregions. So whether in Rajasthan desert, whether in the hills of Meghalaya, whether in the West Bengal coast, it happened. It took them, as usual it takes for the government agency, it took them 5 years to publish a report about that. But remember, during the actual work, every 6 months a monitoring committee consisting of IRA scientists, so there were scientists from Indian Agricultural Research Institute sitting on the committee. All of them were evaluating whether for a small farmer or a marginal farmer, whether if they do not use any chemical pesticide and fertilizer, whether they will be able to meet, whether the productivity will be high or will be low. So this question was addressed by this project, and the report right now is called also Biofarm. It will be a book soon coming. Parthibo, who left here, Parthibo Vasu, and Angshu, who was then the secretary of Service Center, they have, their name is there as author, my name is there as a resource person. So this has happened, this is documented. Unfortunately, because the government itself is not learning from their experience, that is, what can we do? So, today, when we talk a true alternative, the technology has to be ecological, the research has to be community based and managed, the participatory action research approach is needed, the ethics has to be of conservation. We have to protect the soil, we have to protect the biodiversity. So, not only we need organic farming, not only we need organic input for agriculture, we need also participation of the farmer in defining what is the problem, in doing research. Already in Philippines, the scientists are under the MASIPAG program. The program is called MASIPAG, MASIPAG. The scientists from the Philippines University is working with the farmers to try out what should be the quality in a new variety of rice. And their rice is much better, much more accepted today in all over Philippines than even the iri, even though the iri is located in Philippines. Actually, the entire, today we do not have time, but I would say that the entire exercise of green revolution was the first step in trying to transfer all the genetic material from poor countries to California, to Philippines, to all the research centers are located in developing countries. In Philippines we have iri, in India we have Itrisac, in Mexico we have potato, sipap. All of these countries, they are collecting all the genetic material and then sending to USA. But that another day, and there are more experts on that to explain to you. So, I will go only 5 more minutes. So, in a garden, we have a frame. How to make the frame a little higher, how to make the post a living tree like drumstick or something maybe Sesbane grandiflora, bokful, and how to make, so how we can go multi-story crops, just like we have a multi-story building, can we grow, can we diversify, can we talk about multi-story agriculture rather than a single-story agriculture? So, can we grow a tree here? Can we grow a creeper here, a climber here? Can we grow a shade-tolerant crop in the shade? So, can we grow more food in less space? And this, we have many examples in many houses of farmers in West Bengal, whoever is cooperating with us, and more than 300. So, any district, if you want to go one day for study tour and you try it yourself, whether this will produce more or whether if you produce only one crop with fertilizer, whether that will produce more. Which one will produce more in terms of biomass? This is the first question. So, ecological agriculture always produce more. So, it is not only growing by a different input, it is question of what plants you grow and whether they help each other. What plants and animals you are growing. In a rice field, if we make a canal, and on the canal, if we grow like this, we are growing vegetable. In the canal itself, we are growing some insect-eating fish. Around the thing, we make trees and we cut the branch of the tree to keep them small. In the corner, we make a pond, and in the pond, we keep fish, and we have a duck house so that the dropping straight away drop. So, of course, how many ducks per how many hectare of rice, how much should be the width of the canal, how much should be the depth. All these things we are doing, but we are doing together with the farmer. So, it can be different. And the main problem is Government of India's policy that only for foreign cow, foreign pig, everything foreign, except maybe Prime Minister. We want that foreign breeding is better. So, that means the loan will be available only if you get a foreign chicken or foreign cow or foreign pig. It is not available for indigenous species. And most of the small farmers, 60% people, they actually depend on those species. And for this rice plant, ecological farming, we need a local duck, because the hydrogen duck, the government duck, as I said, that has been bred with the view not to go in the water. They can give more egg, but they will not go in the rice field. So, khaki kambe mas, to dhan khete jabe na. So, oke diye hobe na. We need a local pig, we need a local cow, we need a local chicken, if we have to develop a ecological system. वो अगर हर टीम से, if from each team we are selecting the best goalkeeper, best football, best forward, best back, and make a best team, it may become the worst team, because they may be best individually, but as a team they do not work. Farming is a team. Farming is a teamwork between different things. One other concept, that whatever you can do by animals or biological energy, don't do it by a machine, don't do it by yourself. So reduce so if under the fruit tree, if there is a chicken, and the chicken, if you think its habit is tracking, so chicken can do the weeding, chicken can produce the fertilizer, chicken can eat the rotten fruit, so insect control. So if we can put a fence around that and we keep proper number of chicken to the proper orchard, so we can actually produce more. While chicken, you don't have to pay any bonus or give holiday allowance to chicken. So the last drawing and basically last part of the statement. So in this drawing you see only rice, because this is what we are seeing today. In a rice field you will see only rice. You will not see fish, you will not see frog, you will not see pork, you will not see any kind of plant. You will not see all of these. All of these have been eliminated. So little more rice, great, but very little food, and especially food for the poor, which they were collecting free of cost from the commons. So rice field was my property, but all these were common property. So we have poisoned not only the rice field, but we have poisoned all the common land of India. So all the rivers, all the canals, all the things, it has spread, and it has reduced the total amount of food available. And so the concept of productivity that we have in our mind, that need to change. Concept of food security also has to change. So Green Revolution not only was a different technology, it made us to think differently, and today we need an alternative that we start thinking in a different way. The last, absolute last, is yield. So I am illustrating that idea. That yield can be measured per hectare. Yield can be per unit of land, per unit of labor, per hour. This we are doing. But economics also say that it can be measured per liter of water. How much? Per kilowatt of energy. And if we are looking at this total factor productivity, if we are looking at how much money will come in how much investment. So if we have all these five, sounds nice, but suppose it is not possible to do all five, then which we will give it priority? So should we give priority to things we have, or should we build our house on foundation we don't have? That is the question with which I want you to live and think, because you are capable of thinking in a university and structure and all are learned people. So try to think that when in 60s, back in 60s, we are building a system, did we build on what we have, or did we build on what we don't have? So what we don't have machines, we don't have big capital, we don't have assured water supply. And precisely this is what on which Green Revolution was built. What we have and America and Japan don't have as much as us is sunlight. We have 14 hours of sunlight, more than 300 hours a day. So the more green material in Japan, a tree is growing only this much in 1 year. In India, it can grow up to this much in 1 year, if we choose carefully. So our biological activity and growth rate is very high. We have lot of people, not much capital, and we have lot of biodiversity. Just in the forest of Sundarbans, there is more tree, more species of animals than in whole of Europe. So if we want to build on our strength, not on our weakness, then we can make maybe a much higher building. And with that I rest my thank you.
There are a lot of alternates to save our agriculture. What we got from Mr. Chatterjee's lecture. Now we are with the topic Crisis in Agriculture and Bringing Green Revolution in Eastern India. Speaker Dr. Ardhendu Sharma. Dr. Tushar Chakraborty will present the speaker's profile.
Welcome